Hello, eRank, and what happened there? Welcome to another Thursday live Q&A with me, Pam Duffy, her Starla Moore, and him, Anthony Wolf. It looks like we are actually live, at least on YouTube. Give us a yell if you see us on Facebook as well. I hear that's been troublesome.
A little.
I'm gonna go pop it open now just to see.
Hey, Starla, you seem to be in reverse.
Am I in reverse?
Your mirror, well, your t-shirt's backwards. Yeah.
Oh. Oh well. Oh yeah, it is on the other side. That's odd.
Yeah, Mark's over there now.
Go ahead.
All right. How is everyone? Where is everyone based? Tell us where you are. Love to know. Have we got a good global audience today?
We have 22.
People in Ohio and Scotland.
26 now.
All right.
We've got quiet chat today. Very quiet chat. Pam, were there any early questions in the Facebook group or?
Not quite a question, but a couple of suggestions. We can throw them in just now. This is from Tiffany. She's just requested if we could not log out of the site every day, if we could keep the login open for more than a day. So yeah, if anyone lets us know if you like that or not like that, because everyone's different.
Yeah, I think we extended that to 7 days. But I'll take it away. I know there have been a lot of people wanting the longer login duration, and it's a security thing that we kind of are a little paranoid in that respect, but we can certainly open that up.
Cool. And the only other thing, Tiffany was also asking, the pop-up that we have on eRank to let you know that we're going live. I think she just says every time she logs in on a Thursday, it keeps popping up. I don't know if anyone else is finding that. Hopefully when you delete it, it should go away.
Yeah, there's a little X in the top right. That should close it for the rest of the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's not working, let us know. That we'll have to look into that.
Exactly. It's super clever systems, but
that would be annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it will follow you around until you close it. It is persistent.
All right. So it looks like we've already got a couple questions coming in. So feel free to get those questions in. We'll be here for about an hour. I did want to quickly point out, though, just because I've been seeing it a lot in my community and across some of the other Etsy groups, a lot of sellers right now, I think that there's probably a bug going on where sellers out of nowhere are being placed automatically on vacation mode. If this happens to you, don't assume that you've done anything wrong. Obviously, make sure that all of your account details and everything are up to date. There are a lot of things that can go wrong, if you change your bank account, or if, for example, you get married and your last name doesn't match up anymore. These are all things that I know can trigger Etsy to, flag your account. But this, to me, seems like a bug just based on the number of sellers I'm seeing experience it. Lots of sellers that have been on the platform for years and years who have never had issues in the past. So if it happens to you, just make sure that you reach out to Etsy and let them know, and don't panic too much, because usually when things like this happen, it's likely that Etsy is already aware. They're just trying to figure out what is going on.
Hey, unrelated, but talking about what's going on, I need to ask Linda in the group. She says she's in Florida with Canadian wildfire smoke. Can someone explain that to me, please? Linda, what's going on there?
Wow.
Yeah, my geography is not great, but that's pretty horrific.
Yeah. I think back in 2000 when I was in Australia, some of the smoke from the bushfires there was getting over to New Zealand. But that's kind of east-west or west going east sort of travel, which sort of follows the winds. But I'm not sure about how it will get from Canada to Florida.
Yeah, we did. I mean, Anthony, you're farther north in Ohio than I am. I know that we had a lot of the smoke during the summer.
Yeah, Yeah, we early in the summer. Yeah, not so. Well, I haven't noticed it for months now.
No, no, me neither.
Yeah.
It's been pretty horrific by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
Wow. Linda's saying yes. Wind's bringing haze, a haze of smoke. Wow. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
stay indoors. Take care.
All right. So we'll go ahead and hop into questions. Thanks to those of you who have gotten some in there. Craig wasn't here super duper early. So Craig, are you still here? Let us know. Craig had asked, with Etsy ads, I've noticed up to only around 30 or so will be promoted no matter how high my budget is. I have a $1,000 budget, and lately it's only been using $130 a day the last week. Right now I have 60 listings advertised. I've had up to 200 advertised before. If I lowered it to 10 to 20, would it push those more? Also, mostly my best sellers and a few new ones I want to promote. So that's a bit of a complex question. There's multiple parts here.
Yeah. Don't know enough about Etsy ads, to be brutally honest. Craig, I think you are using it way more than like my wife was, especially with a 130-day dollar daily budget. That's
No, his budget is $1,000. It's only spending $100.
oh, spending. Oh, yeah. That's Craig. I don't know, but I'd love to have a chat with you if that's your budget and you've been spending that much. I would love to have a chat with you. Pick your brain a little bit. Maybe we can brainstorm that a bit. My email is anthony@erank.com. I'm serious. I'd love to have a chat with you about that and see if I can learn more. Maybe I can help you. My advertising experience is a bit limited nowadays, but maybe between the two of us, we can piece that together. But I'm really genuinely very interested in that.
Yeah, that amount of data is going to be way more than my $1 a day budget.
I think most people limit it about $1 a day. And quite rightly if the conversion rates aren't working, but I suspect that Craig is doing something really good here.
Yeah.
I'd love to know more about that.
I mean, all I've seen, not at that size of a budget, but when Etsy doesn't use up all your budget when it has done before, it just doesn't have enough people to show your stuff to, is what my thought would be. And we've been seeing in the sites page on eRank, Etsy, eBay, Amazon are all down just now. It's a quiet time. So
yeah, you might just not have a target audience to support it. I said he might just not have a target audience on the platform right now to support the budget that he's funneling in.
Possibly. That's what I'd like to chat to him about, understand the audience a bit more, who he's targeting. The other bit that's thrown me a little bit is the it seems that he's saying here, I've noticed only around 30 or so are being promoted. That puzzles me. I didn't know that there was any quota on the number of listings. Anyway, yeah, Craig, yeah, I'm serious. Please reach out. I'd love to learn more about what you're doing, and maybe we can figure out some answers for you.
Yeah, Edgar in the chat is basically a similar situation, a budget of $1,000 and only using $100 to $150. So
yeah, I suspect that is time of year. The traffic is way down. Perfectly normal. We don't need to panic, but it is way down from previous months.
All right. Let's see. Positive Vibes Tarot. My direct traffic has increased with more than 70% and conversion rate has dropped more than 30%. It's the same with all other sellers that I've talked to, and it's becoming an issue. Would it be possible to push Etsy to remove direct traffic from calculating conversion rate? They do not provide any information on where this traffic comes from or what listings have been visited. So the conversion rate that you're seeing in your back end, it's not having any negative impact on your shop. I'm not quite sure what would the benefit be aside from your own personal tracking. What would be the reason for wanting to remove that direct traffic factor, aside from just making you feel good to like go in and look at that conversion rate being higher? I'm just trying to figure out like what the actual goal of removing direct from our analytics would be.
Yeah. A lot of people worry about the conversion, but the thing is, I think you said, Starla, visits have increased 70% and conversions dropped 30% or something like that. And
Yeah.
that is totally normal on anything. If you go more viral, if you get seen more, then your conversion will drop. And it's not a bad thing. It just means you're going out to a wider, less specific audience because you're doing really well. You'll probably find some of the very top shops will have a lower conversion than you think because they're being seen by loads of people. And it in no way hurts you, but you can see the important conversion that matters. On Etsy, if you go to marketing search analytics beta, you'll see the keywords that people are finding you for, and you can find the conversion there. And that's what Etsy cares about, is the conversion when you're seen for each individual keyword. So that's all you need to worry about.
It goes
I
along
wouldn't
with
sweat that too much. I don't know that your shop's being adversely affected in any way other than maybe your stats don't look as cool as they used to. I hope that the net volume of sales is still healthy. But again, other factors at this time of the year can also affect that.
Yeah, it goes along with everybody panicking about like the share and save program, because there's a myth that if you share your links on social media that it will tank your conversion rates. Therefore, you should never advertise your products, because if you advertise them on social media and people look but don't buy, then you'll rank lower in search. And that's just not how Etsy's algorithm
I think
works.
anyone that's giving you that advice is trying to sabotage your shop. That is not good advice.
Oh, some of the big Etsy coaches on YouTube share that advice.
Wow.
It's just a myth that people repeat it and believe it. They think that conversion's the most important thing, which it's right there in front of you. But
it is, but there is conversion and there is conversion.
Yeah.
Like you said just a few minutes ago, tie it back to the keyword. That's what matters.
Yeah. I mean, why would Etsy penalize you for advertising their platform for them? Why would they penalize you for bringing them people?
Yeah, you're doing stuff which is good for the community. This whole network effect, that's a good thing. They're not going to punish you for that.
Yeah, they make a system that deliberately penalizes your shop for doing the thing they want you to do.
Exactly. All right. Kelly had asked, why doesn't eRank put the correct number of sales when tracking competitors? It only counts 1 if a customer changes the quantity to 20. Hope that makes sense.
It does make sense. So the number of sales that we track is based on the sales number that Etsy gives us. So we don't make stuff up. We don't remove stuff. We stick to what Etsy has. Etsy have a definition of sales which is a bit odd to how maybe you and I would think about it. I know that Pam's talked about this in the past. I'm pretty sure you've mentioned this too, Starla. So we haven't tried to buck and come up with a new definition of sales. We use the same one that Etsy does. So it's not orders, it's sales. Literally, if you were to go to that competitor's shop on Etsy, their shop page, and you know how it says shop name, so and so many sales, 4.5 star review, something like that. That sales number, the formula that calculates that is exactly the same as what we use. So if that number goes up by 1, even though an item was purchased 20 times, that will be reflected on that page, but also in eRank in that way. So I'd love to make it easier and in line with the way that people think about it, but when there are so many different trains of thought, we have to stick with what Etsy does. If they change that at some point, we will change that as well.
Yeah, I like to try and think about it like, and I know it makes no sense, but if you think about it, if someone goes into a supermarket or something and buys a loaf of bread, that loaf of bread might have 20 slices of bread in it. So if they buy 20 of the same thing, that's like a loaf of bread. Whereas if they buy 2 separate loaves of bread, then that's 2 different things. But yeah, Etsy, we have to go with the definition they give us, else it gets even more confusing.
Yeah, and they don't give us any other way to calculate that unless we were to take your private data and give that to other people, and we're not going to do that. So we have to stick with the way that Etsy makes it publicly available. And I just saw Kelly's comment. sorry, I can't give you a better answer. If I could, we would do it for sure. You're not the only one that's asked.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and grab Anna's comment since it was related to our previous topic. I just don't want Heather, you're next in line. I didn't want you to think that we missed you. But Anna had said, so by the same token, when we share our shop in large groups and lots of people look at it to help, but don't buy, that has no harmful effect. No, it does not have any harmful effect. It doesn't have a good effect. So if you see those like ladders in Facebook groups where they say, everybody go like my listing, that's not going to help you. It's too easy to game. If it's something that Etsy can identify that you can easily game by having all your friends go like your listings, then they're not going to give you extra brownie points for it. But no, it does not have any harmful effect. As Pam stated, it's the conversion from search related to keywords in your listings. Because if somebody is looking for this is from my new shop. If somebody is looking for a Fox tumbler, and they click on my Fox tumbler and they're not happy with what they found and they clicked off of that listing, that tells Etsy that maybe this isn't a good Fox tumbler. Maybe this isn't the type of product that people want when they search for Fox tumbler. So posting in groups, though, that's not going to have any negative effect.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time to do these games.
Yeah.
All right. So back up to Heather. On the calendar feature, are we able to put things in ourselves, like a note to start designing Halloween products, etc.?
No, but it's a neat idea, and we occasionally get people asking about it. And yeah, it's strange. Sometimes I feel like the calendar just adds noise and distraction. And I think we could do a better job letting you know in advance. One way could be giving you the ability to, say, start preparing for Halloween now, something like that. So I'll take it on board. If others like that idea as well, just please let us know in the comments. We try to gauge the priority or the sense of interest in a feature or a change based on the feedback we get. So yeah, if you think that would be useful, leave us a little note in the comments, please.
Yeah. And Heather, let me know, what would be more useful to you? The ability for you to go in and edit it like your personal calendar and put your own notes in? Or would it be more beneficial for, say, 4 months out before a season, our team maybe pop in and have a note in there? That way you can see from us, oh, we should start preparing for Halloween. Because that would be something that we could also easily do, is just put those dates on the calendar. Like, hey, you guys should probably start thinking about Black Friday. You should probably start thinking about Mother's Day. Because, Jan already does our really cool trend reports. And she kind of keeps an eye on when things start to rise. So with historical trends that come back every year, I think that it would be easy enough for us to estimate out 4 months when we start to see the rise. So
yeah, guys, let us know what you fancy, what will help in the comments, and we'll push it on to Anthony to get it done.
All right, Tabitha, it seems as though when I use the keyword tool, the best-selling items aren't below. Am I doing something wrong? Well, it shouldn't be best-selling items that are appearing.
No, what you're seeing in the keyword tool are what Etsy believe are the most relevant listings for those keywords, and that changes all the time.
Yeah, bear in mind, I think Starla has a load of videos on the ranking factors, the listing quality score and stuff. And the thing is, what we're showing is what Etsy are saying are the top ranking listings for that keyword. Now, as we said, as well as all the other ranking factors, it's the conversion when seen for that keyword. So a listing might be selling really well, but it might be selling from people driving traffic from Facebook. So Etsy doesn't think that's the best match for that specific keyword. So you'd be looking and going, why is that ranking so low? And it's just because we don't have the data for everything that's going on in that fantastic top selling listing. So
Yeah. And if you're just asking where it went, or I'm assuming that maybe the new tabs that we have in the keyword tool, it doesn't show on the first tab that's selected by default, right, Anthony? They have to go to see those top ranking listings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good point.
it's the top listings tab. So
Yeah.
you go down below the graph where it's got the sales trend graph and things like that, and you've got 4 tabs in there. And top listings is on the right.
Cool.
Yeah, totally forgot we've changed that tool. And I believe Anthony did a demo of that last week, and we've got a couple of videos in this YouTube channel as well showing what's changed there.
Yeah, take a look. Yeah.
All right. AI wizardry. I've lost my Etsy's pick badge for no actual reason, even though I met all of the requirements for getting an Etsy's pick badge an Etsy pick that was provided by Etsy. They convert some of my Etsy's picks badges into bestsellers, but others are gone for over 2 months. What can be the reason for that? Only Etsy would be able to answer that. Etsy works in mysterious ways.
Yep.
Yeah, I think some badges sort of trump others. So if you have a bestseller, that might be showing as more important than an Etsy pick. So you might still have both. I'm not sure. I don't think you can have like 72 badges all on the one listing.
Etsy's picks, I believe, are the ones where an actual Etsy staff member has personally selected that item. And I'm going to guess that those aren't forever. That's probably a limited time badge. But what could have happened, this is just my guess, is that maybe you got Etsy's pick because an Etsy staff member, liked your listing. You got the badge. Maybe that badge helped you to make some sales. And then by the time that badge had expired, however, whatever criteria they have for it, you might have been, maybe you lost that badge, but you made the criteria for bestseller as a result of having the Etsy's pick badge. Here's the thing. All of these little badges, they're super duper cool and they make us feel good, but there's not any like algorithmic benefit to having them. Same with star seller badge. They all kind of they're like a nice little gold star sticker on our t-shirt to make us feel special. But some of the best, Etsy shops out there, if you go into our top sellers report, they don't have any of these crazy badges. I mean, I'm sure they have some bestseller badges, but a lot of them aren't star sellers. A lot of them don't have free shipping badges. So in terms of like how customers perceive the listings, I don't find the badges to be all that important. I think that it's just a way for Etsy to make us feel good.
Yeah, and also saying you met all the requirements. Etsy did put out an article a couple of weeks ago for what they're looking for an Etsy pick, but it's not a checkbox. As Starla said, it's a human being that picks it. So even if we do all the things, Etsy staff won't necessarily pick it.
Yeah.
So not everything will be picked. I believe in the last financials report in the presentation, they mentioned they were going to be upping this a little bit, which they seem to be doing because they're using this human picks to train their AI for what makes an appealing looking listing, basically. So that's probably why we're seeing some more of them. But as Starla says, they're probably a limited time as well, because I've got some listings that are coming up to 15 years old. I don't think Etsy still wants them to be picked from like 10 years ago when they were popular.
Pam, was that the Q3 investors report?
No, the Q2. Yeah, we should. Do we have Q3 up yet? I haven't looked.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if you were talking about, because I was going to link it in the chat for them.
Yeah, the Q2 investors report.
Okay, I'll go ahead and pop it in the chat for you guys. And you'll just want to click the one that says presentation.
Yeah.
And you can go through. You can also listen to the webcast, but the presentation, if you just want to read through and get the bullet points, the presentation option will give you all of that. Okay, let's see. Heaven on the Horizon had said, to me, it seems ads are not fairly done. One store is occupying a full row or two on the first page, So how do we get our listing seen with less than 1,000 in ad spend? So a couple things to keep in mind about ads. Your ads are only going to be as good as your SEO is, because Etsy still has to understand what you're selling and who it's for and what type of searches that ad needs to be associated with. So that's always something to also consider. Pam, do you have any ideas on this one?
Yeah, the ad algorithm should be at least as good as the normal algorithm, if not better. Etsy wants to show the ads that are most likely to make a sale, basically, because that works for it. But that doesn't mean that if your budget's $1,000, you're going to get seen the most. As we're seeing, people have $1,000 spend and it's not spending it. So yeah, Etsy definitely shuffles through the ads and experiments with them, and everybody gets seen. Probably you're seeing that one store for what you're searching for because Etsy thinks that's relevant for you. I believe ads are very personalized as well from what I've seen, but Etsy obviously don't tell us a whole lot about how the ad algorithm works, because that's a totally different thing.
All right. Edgar asked, what do you attribute to one of my competitors that we sell a very similar amount during the year? Sometimes I sell more, but in the fourth quarter of the year, they sell thousands of items more than me. I would start looking into this competitor, and do they have a social media account? Do they have a crazy TikTok account? Do they have a YouTube channel? Do they have a blog? Do they get featured somewhere? Are they in some yearly gift guide maybe? There are a lot of things that could be contributing to why they're shooting up in the fourth quarter, but I dare say that it's likely something that has to do with external traffic. I would really try to deep dive and see if you can find them on social media, YouTube, blogs. You never know. They might have, that maybe they get featured in BuzzFeed every year.
Yeah. The only other thing I can think of, and I'm speculating a tad here, and you all know how I feel about speculation, is that perhaps that competitor did a really good job pleasing buyers last year who were searching for Christmas something or other, or holiday something. And Etsy may have looked at that historical performance and given them a boost, but that's, again, speculation. I haven't seen anything official from them. But if I was a developer figuring out their algorithms, I'd be looking at historical performance like that and maybe giving them a boost as well.
We've got three no's in the chat, so I don't know. No. Wait, Edgar, feel free to give us more context.
Yeah, what kind of things is it that you sell? If it's consumables or something that would have a high repeat customer thing, that could be something that they have a bunch of people that come back every year. Or, I mean, thousands more does sound, like Starla says, like some kind of social media viral type thing. Worth digging into. They sound like a good competitor to watch for sure.
Yeah. Hey, one thing you may want to do is set up a Google alert for that shop name. If you haven't done that,
would be a good idea.
Yeah, google.com/alerts, I think it is, and put in that shop name, like without the spaces, and see what comes back.
Yeah, you could probably get a little bit of information there.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your first name, so I'm going to say your business name because I can say HB Studio. Feel free to yell at me in the chat. Is there any trainings for SEO setup for products or videos? I'm new to eRank. And we actually had a question right under that from Micah that said, I just signed up and started an Etsy shop. What eRank tool should I try first to help me list my product? So I think that those questions kind of go hand in hand. Are there any trainings, and what tool would be a good first stop? So trainings, tons. This channel.
Yeah. But you may have to pick and choose. I think maybe if we can find some and post them in the comments, that would be good. Maybe if Debbie's tuned in, you can find a few. Pam, are you sitting on a few?
Sitting on a few? Not necessarily. Not at the minute, but we do have on eRank in the bottom right-hand corner. If you click on that, you should have little help to take you through at least the setup. I can't remember what videos we've just made, but
I can share my screen for a second if you like, Pam, and
yep, sure.
give them a pointer, because we did put a lot of work into that. How about I share my screen, huh?
Yeah, that'd be
Rather
good.
than just talk about it. Screen. And where? I have so many windows open. I'm learning from you, Pam.
Ah, cool. I think I had 90 last time my computer crashed.
Need newbie trainings and suggestions for first stop tools. I think that everybody has their favorite first stop tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends what you want to do. Yay.
Okay. Oh, how did you, Pam? I was really struggling with that last week. You have to give me a tutorial. It's like, bang. You remember stuff?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, so can you see my mouse pointer down here in the bottom right corner? I'm just clicking on the little help widget. And what I've done is I've clicked on help. And I recommend you go through this section here, especially if you're a beginner. In particular, getting started, we've got an article that we created there, which takes you through the whole process, connecting your shop, learning about buyer habits. Oh, make a note there. Doing keyword research, learning from your competitors. We've got links in there for really deep diving on each of those, but I would definitely start from this magical little button down here in the help section in there.
Yeah.
And I'm done.
Yeah, and I think if you sign up for the mailing list, I think Trisha was working on something. Do we have I can't remember now, but if you sign up for the mailing list every week, there's something, and that will direct you to some tools, and there's always links and blogs and tips and everything there as well.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, we've also got our blog, erank.com/blog. That's really helpful. Pam and I both have YouTube videos on our own channels where we typically cover different tools. And on this channel, there are tons of tutorials. It just really depends on what it is that your goal is. And this kind of goes along with our second question. What eRank tool should I try first to help me list my products? If you're listing your products, I would start at the keyword tool. That's the tool that I dare say most users join eRank to have, so that you can get an idea for what keywords you should be using in your tags and titles. And we've got videos on this channel. I've got videos on my channel, and Pam, I'm sure you've got videos on your channel that cover the keyword tool as well. So, and you can also, again, just click on that little help button that Anthony showed, and you are able to request help that way as well. So keyword tool, though, I dare say would be the best first stop for listing your products, because you need to know what terms people are actually typing into those Etsy search bars in order to list your products with any chance of them actually being discovered by shoppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the keyword tool is an excellent starting point. If you want to get a little even higher up, I'd start in the trends section and see what is trending now and over the next 3 or 4 months. And they're very broad sort of keywords, but it'll give you a starting point. If you're very new to Etsy and trying to figure out what you want to sell, I think that's a great area as well.
Yeah. There are so many tools because every shop's different and every listing's different. So one of those suggestions is great. Pick a tool and then dive into it. Have a look. And we've got the Facebook group. There should be links if you're not a member of the Facebook group. We've got these videos. You can come to us and ask us specifically once you've looked at a tool and you find out you're not sure what's going on with a part of the tool, then ask us there as well. The more specific questions, the better we can help, because yeah, so often people come and just go, how do I get more sales or something? And that's a really hard question, but how do I use this part of the tool to help me understand how to do this thing? We can answer that so much better.
Yeah, specific questions get specific answers.
Yep.
All right, Mabel the Woodle. I just found eRank's traffic stats. Wow, lots of details. Would you recommend changing some title/tags in listings that are not selling to match the traffic stat keywords? I would certainly consider it if those listings aren't gaining any traction.
Yeah, doesn't hurt, because the people are looking for those words, and your shop is being put up in front of buyers. So having an extra listing or two which has some of those words that are working for you, I think it could be a smart strategy. It's one of the reasons why we built the traffic stats tool, is to give you that insight.
Yeah, I totally did that just the other week. I went and had a look, and then when you click into it, eRank shows you kind of what in your listing was causing you to get found there. And I discovered the keyword I thought was in my title was misspelled in my title. So I went and changed that.
Good stuff. All right. Do a lot. That's a good username. I'm curious to know if there are any tips when all your keywords are in high competition, and is it okay to still use high competition words? Yeah.
Okay, everyone's looking at me. Nothing wrong with using high competition words. If there's high competition, it tells you there's a lot of other shops that have figured out this is something to sell. If you were looking to take that high competition word and find a little unique or a niche within a niche or something like that, throw in some additional words in there. So high competition could be something like silver ring. And then if you want to still get the magic of silver ring, add in words for who the recipient is. If it's for an event or an occasion, add words in there, add those into additional tags. And nothing wrong with having that silver ring as one of your tags or in your title.
Yeah, if it's a silver ring, you have to call it a silver ring. Anyway.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Again, think about the combinations. Starla was talking about this last week, but it's all the combinations that you can think of. That's where the magic is.
Yeah, because Etsy's going to read those words in every possible combination. So maybe I always grab whatever's on my desk. And thankfully I have items on my desk. If I'm selling, this fox tumbler, maybe fox tumbler is way too hard for me to rank for. Maybe, that is a term that I would love to rank for someday, but I just don't have the listing quality score right now to support ranking for that. Okay, I can't rank for that. But if I called it an Arctic fox tumbler, well, I'm still going to, get brownie points from Etsy for fox tumbler because it's still exact matching in my listing. It could be blue Arctic fox tumbler. Well, now I've added another term in there. And I could broad match for other terms. Even though my keyword is blue Arctic fox tumbler, I could rank for blue tumbler or blue fox tumbler or Arctic fox tumbler or any combination of those terms. So usually when you have a really specific but still highly competitive term that perfectly describes your item, you're likely using other terms along with it that you can more easily rank for. Like in the silver necklace example or silver ring example, maybe the example is sterling silver amethyst gemstone necklace. Well, it's going to be really hard to rank for amethyst necklace. But every time we add another word in there, it's almost like we're nesting more and more keywords, and we're going to rank in search for the whole term, every combination of the term, and each little segment of that term. So yeah, I would look at what the root of your keyword is. It's likely going to be whatever your item is. In my case, maybe it's just a tumbler, and think more about all the other terms that you're using and how they're working together to support what your item actually is. And as we've talked about with the traffic stats tool and the Etsy search analytics that we have direct through our Etsy dashboard, we can kind of deep dive into the terms that we're being found for in order to find combinations that we might not have realized we were actually ranking for, especially if it's more of a jumbled combination of the words that we're using.
Yeah. And trying to remember where I was going with that now. But yeah, don't be like put off, because if Starla starts to get some really good sales for one of her more long tail keywords that she was doing cool with there, if she gets loads of sales, then that boosts up her listing and her shop quality score, and suddenly she might find that she is ranking and being shown more for some of these higher competition things. And if it's an awesome listing, then it's going to make sales from that and it's going to rank higher. I find it just about this time of year, this happens quite a lot, in that people start searching loads and you start to see yourself getting seen for some of these long tail keywords. And when your listing starts doing well, it's like, how on earth am I suddenly getting views from that keyword, that like highly competitive keyword that I couldn't rank for? And it's just because Etsy's going, hey, that person's doing really awesome. Let's test them on a few more customers.
Yeah, I like to think of it like, that pair of gold jeans that you have in your closet and they don't fit you right now, but
Hey. Oh, you're thinking about someone else. Oh.
they don't fit you right now, but you keep them because someday you're going to fit into them. That's how I like to see these harder to rank for keywords. So if you are trying to rank for silver necklace, but maybe you are stuck with using amethyst gemstone sterling silver necklace, yeah, it's going to be really hard to rank for silver necklace, but it's still in your listing. So consider that to be like your pair of gold jeans that are in the closet. And if you don't rank for that right away, well, that's okay. If you can make some sales on other combinations of this word and some of the other keywords that you have that work together with that word, silver necklace, then that listing quality score is going to build up. And as Pam said, Etsy's more likely to show that listing to more people. And maybe someday you will start ranking for those highly competitive terms. But it's kind of like playing the long game. If you're in there every single day changing your keywords, and first you want to be known for silver necklace, but then you decide to change it to mother's necklace, and then you change it again to gothic necklace, it's very unlikely that you're going to ever rank for silver necklace, just because Etsy doesn't know that that's what you even want to be known for anymore. So that's why we say, don't change your keywords every day. Put them in your listings and let them sit and give them some time.
Yeah, the other thing you can do, these highly competitive keywords like the silver ring or whatever else, these are the good place to start when you're doing your keyword research into the keyword tool, and then look at the related searches, and you can see silver ring. What other things are people searching for? Are they searching for, I'm going to say opal, and Jad's going to yell at me because you shouldn't put opal into rings, but are they searching for opal silver ring? And you might see that from that highly competitive keyword, there's longer tail keywords that customers are just starting to search for and no one else has spotted. So you use these keywords that you think are too hard for you, but you dig deep into our tools and you go, oh, hang on, it's not just a silver ring, but it could be a silver ring with dainty flowers on it or something, and that's suddenly what people are looking for.
Yeah. All right, so we had some additions to HB Studio. They were asking about how to use eRank, but they're not new. 2 years ago, they sold over 300,000 items or dollars. Either way, that's awesome.
Yeah.
In 3 months for Christmas, and can't replicate that success. Well, 2 years ago, we were still dealing with the pandemic traffic wave, which was an anomaly that hit all marketplaces, all e-commerce in general. People are back to shopping in stores now. So we can't set that as the norm. And I'm not saying you're never going to be able to replicate that again, but that shouldn't be the goal. It's a very unrealistic expectation when literally everybody had to shop online to be able to resume that level of traffic. That was like 2 years ago would have been the tail end of the pandemic shopping wave.
Yeah, I think you're bang on there, Starla. They were crazy times. Governments were handing money out like candy, and people were bored at home spending that money. Those glory days are over, sadly. Some of you out there I know are doing better. How you're doing that is absolutely awesome, and you should really give eRank all the credit for that. But I'm kidding. Kidding. You do an awesome job. That's why you're selling so well. But a lot of you who went through that crazy period of COVID handouts, yeah, that's reality coming back to bite us.
Yeah. And in terms of what you can do now, you said, what would you suggest? I would get on social media. I would do the things that your competitors aren't doing. The unfortunate thing about riding the gravy train is when it rolls to a stop, you've got to kind of pick up the slack where it left off. So I would make sure that you are doubling down on things like your social media strategy. Don't just rely on Etsy traffic alone, especially if we can see that Etsy traffic is, down a bit from where it was last year, a few years ago. You can't bring traffic to a listing that isn't on the platform. If people aren't shopping there, it's almost like trying to get people into your mall store, but there's nobody walking around the mall. There have to be people in the mall in order to walk into your store. But what you can do is put flyers all over town that say, come directly to my store in the mall. And that would be in the form of social media marketing. Obviously you could create video content. That's my favorite way to advertise, just because, short form video content right now is very popular. But there's a lot of things that you can do. It's just, you have to be able to dedicate that time to learning more about those things.
Yeah, it's a sort of depressing thing, but I think everyone kind of needs to be aware, for whatever reason, something can happen that makes you go viral. I'm sure Starla's had it. I've had it, that, you get the right customer who happens to be famous and shares you on TikTok or something, and you get loads of sales. Now, in this case, it sounds like it was a pandemic happened. So something has happened and you get loads of sales. And especially if you're data driven, you look at this rise in your sales and you go, fantastic, and you project in your head and you go, well, if I got 3,000 last year, I should be getting 5,000 this year. But actually it's a big peak. What you want to be thinking when you get a viral kind of peak for whatever reason, don't look at what that top was, that 3,000 in sales. Look at what was your baseline before the peak, and is that baseline higher now than it was? You sort of climb up through the little baselines, and to do that, like Starla says, you're trying to keep that momentum, keep some of that momentum, like getting the return customers, catching them in mailing lists, grabbing them on your social media. But what you can do is look back at that time and see what keywords were driving you traffic, what social media was working for you. Have a look and see, are your listings still ranking in that search? Use the keyword tool and see, are people still searching for that keyword term, and at least be in the right place for the people if they're still coming, or are they searching for slightly different terms? Something like personalized and customized, those two terms seem to flip-flop every 3 or 4 years, that one does well and then suddenly the next does well. So see if it's just a little thing like that. You won't necessarily get that crazy high, but you can still keep on building your shop and hopefully have a good Christmas.
So Onesie added from HB Studio added a couple more points in there and got me thinking a little bit. So Onesie, I'm assuming that's a she, was saying the top seller on this item sells about 700,000 in the same time frame. So it feels like the demand for those products has still been growing or is steady. Now, if that's the case, where your competitor is going from strength to strength and you're doing the opposite, well, they're eating your lunch. So you've got to figure out why that may be happening. So first of all, I look inwardly and go, right, have I done something that sent the wrong signal to Etsy? So I would say, did you have any issues shipping stuff a couple of years ago, which may have hurt your reputation a little bit? I know a lot of people went through that stage where shipping became a little bit of a nightmare for people, especially when there was such high volume. I think in another comment you said you had to add 20 people to the store. So, brilliant growth spurt. That would have been a very pleasant dilemma to have. Now you've got a less pleasant dilemma to have. How do you get back to that? So have a look there and see if there's any history that may have sent a bad message to Etsy. Maybe you weren't satisfying customers too well because it was shipping late or something like that. Perhaps you had a burst of negative feedback. That can also hurt as well. That should have corrected itself by now. But if it hasn't, see if you can work on getting more positive reviews. Again, using ethical means. Don't get all sketchy and start incentivizing people to leave feedback. That will not get you very far. But I'd have a look at that. So I know that's not really giving you the magical solution, but it may give you some areas to look at to see if there's somewhere where you can fine tune how you're doing things and get back to those former glorious days that you had. I hope you do have success this year. Can you imagine having 20 people to help out?
I know, right? That's awesome. Yeah. We want to know what you sell.
Yeah.
I think they say Christmas items.
Okay.
Sell any Christmas items.
Yeah. Well,
oh, I sell Christmas. Oh, okay. I thought that they meant that they only sold around Christmas time. Got it. Okay. Let's see. Edgar had asked, I'm trying to use traffic stats, but there is no information. It's empty.
I saw that comment, so I just prepared. If I looked a bit distracted a couple of questions ago, I was getting prepared. I think Pam could see my screen changing as I was preparing this. So, Pam, can you share me?
Yep.
So, Edgar, there could be a couple of reasons why you're seeing this. So I will try to cover all the possible reasons. Failing that, you're welcome to reach out to me and I'll try and help you figure it out. But this is what I think you were saying. You go into traffic stats and you're seeing nothing in here. So this is my little sad demo shop. So I don't get a lot of traffic in there. And today I've had no one. So that's fine. But my point is this: try and extend the time frame. So I think default maybe 30 days. You may want to go back as far as 15 months, and then you'll start to see data in there. So that's my first thing. Second thing, make sure that you have got your Google Analytics codes in your eRank settings. So, oops, my cat just got on the keyboard. I will go back. So make sure your tracking codes are in eRank. Okay. Sorry about that.
Make sure your cat also isn't on your keyboard, because that can definitely
that
affect
really
your analytics.
can mess up a live presentation. Make sure you've got your Google Analytics tracking codes in there. You'll see that I've got my GA4 tracking code, which is a G dash, and I've also got my old UA tracking code in there as well. So I've got all that historical data there. So that's what I've done. So that's how your settings page should roughly look. Now, if you're not sure about all that, you may want to pop over into your shop manager and go into the settings and up into web analytics. And in here, you've got to make sure that your Google Analytics code is in here. If it's in there, then that's great. You've done the right thing. If it's in your settings page, then you've done the right thing there. If you still don't see historical data in here, then you're going to have to go into your shop and look at the source code and find where your seller tracking codes are, and make sure that the code that is in here matches what you have in Google Analytics. So it's complicated, but hopefully I've got you on the right path there. And if you get stuck, please let me know. You can email us at support@erank.com, or you can email me directly, anthony@erank.com, and we can get you on the right path there.
Yeah, and make sure you've changed in your shop to you're using your GA4 tracking number.
Yep.
Now, I think some people had not changed it over in either in their shop or in their eRank. So, yep.
Yeah, I popped in the link though to the live stream that Anthony did a while back with Pam. Let's see, it's been 3 months ago, but when we switched from Universal Analytics to Google Analytics 4, he did a live stream. So that link
a terrible
is
live stream too.
well,
thanks for linking that. I was hoping that would get buried in YouTube.
Oh, I mean, it's got a lot
It was helpful.
It was helpful, yeah. It wasn't the smoothest presentation I've given.
People love it. All right. So it looks like we've got one more question, which will probably put us to the end. Regarding the second question you answered about direct traffic and conversion rate, I've definitely not gone viral, and I'm not driving this traffic myself. I have 1,400 visits, and Etsy shows. Is there more to that question? Let's see. Where 16 of them came from. I'm pretty sure these are bots and should not affect my conversion rate. And of course, it is affecting my sales.
Okay, so you've got a load of direct traffic, but Etsy's not showing you where that came from, which Anthony will be able to answer why that's
yes,
there.
they put in direct because they don't know. It's as simple as that. There are ways that you get a link, you click on that link, or you type it in manually. There's just no breadcrumb that allows Etsy to say, oh, you came from an ad, or you came from Pinterest, or something like that. There's no trace. So that doesn't affect your sales. This is just low quality traffic that's coming in that isn't converting. Doesn't affect your sales. So just because this comes in, Etsy's going to take business away from you. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and if your sales are down right now, it's likely not related to that. Etsy sales are kind of down for most people. We're starting to get the holiday rise back up. I'm finally seeing people reporting that things are looking a little bit better. But last month was bad. It was really bad, but it's always bad around back to school time. So.
Hey, just out of curiosity, would it be beneficial if we started showing like a sales score, I guess, which we could break down by niche or something like that, so that, say you're selling wreaths and it's coming into fall, you start to see that the sales in that category is going up. Would that give people peace of mind, do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That would be awesome.
Okay.
That would be great. Yeah, especially
I think there's a lot of people out there that sell a certain item, and they chat to other sellers in forums or Reddit, and other sellers are doing really well because they're selling fall wreaths right now. And here you are trying to sell the last of your swimwear or something like that. It's obviously not an apples and apples comparison. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We do have, for everyone on a paid subscription, the competitor sales. You can track your competitors, which is handy. But yeah, having a score for your sort of category or something would be awesome.
Sorry, Onesie from HP Studio said, what's a sales score? So I don't know yet. What I'm looking at is, if a certain category is doing really well, we will try to give you a system which tells you it's doing really well. What are the hot categories? So it could be a score from 1 to 100. Like 100 is super hot, 0 is, or 1 is not so good.
Was that your bird, Anthony?
That was my bird. I'm so sorry. It's like a bit of a zoo.
I thought it was a squeaky shopping cart wheel. It was.
Yeah, it could be that. Could be my wife downstairs pushing something around.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's going crazy. I'm going to mute for a second.
All
I
right.
was trying to figure out if that was at my end, or I'm going like, what do I need to press? But no, it's just Anthony. He's going to
All
put a blanket over the bird's cage.
Anthony, it's up to you. There's one more question in here.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you want it?
Yep.
All right. Did the cat get the bird?
Two questions.
All right. Last question. Since starting our shop, we've learned a lot and improved listings. Should I just adjust current listings or create whole new listings with the new approach? So basically they started their shop, but now they've learned new strategies. Should they adjust their current listings or create new ones? I wouldn't touch anything that's selling. If they're not selling at all, then yeah, maybe apply the new things that you've learned along the way. But if they are selling, even if you think that they look crappy, leave them alone, because even listings that we think don't look great can do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ones that are selling, don't mess with them. I'd feel terrible if you had something that was selling well and you went, oh, that sounds like a good idea, and you went and changed it and you killed that listing. So, leave it be. Even if it's just bringing in a few bucks a month, or enough to fund that next holiday, whatever it is, start a new listing and apply your learnings to that new listing.
Yeah, I would even say if you can make more of whatever your listings are, at the minute in time, I would make more listings, because as we've said, it's just at that point where things are going to get busy. So you might be getting views, or, your listings might be in the right place just now, but the customers aren't there quite yet. So this is the really difficult time. It's like that hold until you see the white of their eyes. Is people could be saying, oh no, my shop's totally dead, and change everything, when it just is quiet just now. Hopefully it's picking up, but yeah, don't panic, folks.
Yeah. I just saw a comment flash by, and I think we need to discuss this one quickly as well. Yeah, Carol was asking, how would I find out if one of my competitors closed shop, went on vacation, or is selling outside of Etsy? Well, the closed shop, it's pretty easy. You go to etsy.com/shop/ their shop name, and it'll say something like, uh-oh, this shop is not available.
Same with vacation. Same with vacation mode. There's a big banner, big yellow banner.
Similar. Yeah, the messages are different.
Yeah.
Yep, but that's it. Just go to etsy.com/shop/ whatever their name is. That's how you can tell there. As for if they're selling outside of Etsy, that's where Google is your friend. So if you know their name, then start there. Go to google.com, type in their name or their shop name, and see if they're popping up anywhere. If they're advertising somewhere, then simply searching for it, you should find them, right? If they've got some blogs out there, you should be able to find them there. So that's what I would do there. Use Google in those situations to do a little bit of advanced snooping.
And check their social media. It might say where they've gone.
Oh yeah. People like to take their buyers with them.
Yeah, they're crazy like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. There are links down below to the Facebook group. There are links to mine and Pam's channel. There's links to the blog. If you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, join the eRank group and pop them over there. If it's a private question, feel free to click the bottom right-hand little icon while you're logged into eRank, and you can email our team. And yeah, guys, have a great Thursday.